Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the beautiful and iconic Marine Stadium in Miami. Beautiful Miami. We're here at the Coconut Grove Seafood Festival with our dear friend Gena Parsons, one of the other hardest working women in the Keys, next to our other angel, which we'll get to in a minute. Gena, thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
So how about coral reefs? You have a lot to do with the amazing NOAA umbrella of all this cool stuff with the reef and the Keys, right?
Right.
So talk about National Marine Sanctuaries and the relationship, which is actually historic, this whole kind of real important piece of the Keys and your work.
Anytime you put your foot in the water in the Florida Keys, you are in the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary.
Like literally even a toe?
Even a toe.
As soon as when it's wet, we're in your domain, right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. It is a protected area because it's very precious, very unique. And the coral reef is the backbone of that. So we're out there protecting these natural resources with the help of people like you and anyone who comes down to the Keys. We want them to know that there are measures they can take to help protect the corals, the fish, the manatees, the seagrass, everything that's out there.
So a lot of people don't understand the reef in terms of the extensive connection it has to oceans around the world, and also as the diving capital of the world, the important role it plays in the Keys. Mm-hmm. Can you kind of frame that so people understand the Keys, the coral reefs, and the sanctuary as one big story together?
The Florida Coral Reef Track runs all the way from Martin County through West Palm, Miami-Dade, and down into the Keys.
Whereas Martin County is above West Palm Beach and Palm Beach County?
Right. So it's a long reef track.
So people understand it. So it's Martin County, West Palm, Broward, Miami-Dade, then Monroe County, which is all the way to the tip of Key West, right?
Right. And the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary basically comes up to Biscayne Bay National Park and then runs all the way down to the Dry Tortugas, where Fort Jefferson is. And there are areas within that have greater protection. We're protecting the coral reef from people anchoring. So we put out mooring buoys so they can tie up to those and not throw an anchor out onto the coral reef. We have areas of seagrass that we do not want people coming through with a propeller and chewing it up. So if you'll pay attention while you're out there, you will see the marker buoys that tell you this is a special area and you need to know what the restrictions are there to help protect the fish habitat, other creatures who need that area to grow, to breed, and to keep our whole area populated. Fishing is a huge sport, as is diving, so we want coral reefs to be healthy as well. The ecosystem is all interconnected, and with that then, our economy in the Florida Keys, because tourists come to the Keys to get out on the water.
And so the three things, the economic driver when it comes to the tourism piece, ecotourism,
absolutely,
diving
yes,
and fishing, and then the actual fisheries themselves as this critical piece of the economic in terms of families and the fishermen down in the Keys feeding families, how important that is. So actually, Gena wears several really important hats, and it was really like one call about what we were doing here at Coconut Grove Seafood Festival. And again, thanks to Swarm and my good friend Tony and Javi, who actually invited us and allowed us to do this again this year, but focus on the Keys. What we were all talking about, first call with Gena was, hey, would you guys be interested to be part of the Coconut Grove Seafood Festival? But I know you wear this really important hat with the Rotary in Key West, and then our beautiful angel here next to us that represents. And I think we talked about this before. Elmira fed Elmira Leto from Samuel's house, 20 years feeding the homeless and folks that whether the kids or families.
Work. Very important work.
On the front lines with the Rotary, and that you represent people who are really the heart and the spirit of getting out there and helping from a civic engagement side. Can you talk about the Rotary and what's going on between you and Elmira now to help KeysStrong.org and the families?
Sure. I'm the president of Key West Sunrise Rotary.
Many hats this woman's wearing, yes.
We have 7 Rotary clubs throughout the Keys, and we're linked in with KeysStrong and with Elmira to make sure we're getting people the help they need. Donations, funding for habitat rebuilding. There are so many people homeless now and needing our help down there. And this is a long-term
11,000 families, right? It's 11,000 families.
11,000
it might be 4 or 5 years to rebuild all that. So from the Rotary's perspective, go on.
Right.
Yeah.
From the Rotary perspective, Rotary International is a civic organization that serves our communities. We're the people out there helping to make a difference. We feel a need. Elmira feels a need. And so linking with her and organizations such as this really can get help to the people who need it. And right now, the Keys people really do need a great deal of help. We're up here in Miami enjoying a beautiful day and all this plentiful food, where there are people on Big Pine Key who don't have a home left. They don't know where to go. They don't know how they're going to keep their business operating. And it's important that we remember that, because as our lives tend to get back to normal, there are plenty of people in the Keys for whom life will not be normal for a good while.
So Gena, literally one phone call, she hopped in the car, she met with us, how can I help? Not only today with the reefs, you're wearing all these hats. What's your position with the National Marine Sanctuaries, by the way? So you're in Key West, the office is there, right?
My office is in Key West.
And you wear another hat with them, in addition to the Rotary Angel hat, right?
Yeah, I am the community. See, I can't even remember. You've gotten me so thrown off. Community is what we all are, right?
Absolutely, the big family.
Communications and outreach specialist.
For the Rotary.
So I talk for a living.
And there's 3 Rotaries in Key West?
There are 3 in Key West, 7 throughout the entire Keys.
And yours is which one?
Key West Sunrise. We're the early birds.
Key West Sunrise. Okay, so Elmira, what does that mean to you with Gena and all of her friends, all the Rotaries behind you, and what do you see happening between everyone getting together, which is so beautiful in the Keys as a family right now?
To me, that means strength, and I just want to join her hand, because that's how we become strong, is by holding each other up.
That's some pretty powerful girl power right there, yeah.
Just showing people that we can work together. It's not about one agency. It's not about just one person. It's about all of us working together to help our citizens of Monroe County. And it's going to take a nation to help us. As I keep saying, it's not a hand out, it's a hand up.
The hand up, which I love what Elmira says. So in terms of the Keys and the reefs, which are such a critical part of those 3 drivers, obviously the economic driver of the fisheries and sustainable fisheries, to the fishing in terms of recreational fishing, and then the diving. So what have you seen? Because you taught me a lot. I had you on the radio with our good friends, by the way, Intercom, Von Freeman, Doug Abernathy, all these folks. Gena was one of the people, the minute this all happened, got on the air with our good friends at the Shark and the Beach and the Ticket and Light FM. And so all of those people on the air that were hearing you talk about this, and I think it was 6 in the morning. I was on the stretch. I had to conference you all in at 6 in the morning to get you live with Ashley O and Toast on the Shark. And so thank you, Ashley O and Toast. So Gena popped in, and I'm listening, my jaw's dropping. You were talking about how many shipwrecks from, as an example, Hurricane Irma. You talked about this, is amazing to me, the buoys and the impact of all this. Tell everybody about what that meant in terms of shifting stuff around.
Hurricane Irma came through the heart of the Keys. It passed over my house. It passed over many people's houses. And the damage done on the land is very much like the damage done in the sea. So there are areas within the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary and waters all around Florida where Irma came through, where corals have been dislodged, stripped away, knocked over, sponges carried away. Down in our area of the Florida Keys, there's a great deal of sediment. You still can't see through much of the water. It's very slow to settle, and it's choking the sponges. It's cutting the light for other creatures down on the bottom.
When it shook it up, all that particular matter is still floating in the water column?
It is. And there's still plenty of debris, too.
Yeah.
1,300 sunken boats to be removed from Monroe County alone.
So those boats basically were somehow floating around on their merry way. Irma came in, and now they're either underwater, half submerged, but they're just maybe bopping around the Keys, these boats.
Most of them
1,300?
Right. Most of them are staying where they are, but many of them are leaking.
Yeah.
They're leaking oil, they're leaking fuel, and so we are working from the sanctuary standpoint with the Coast Guard and Florida Fish and Wildlife to safely remove those boats to not cause any more damage to the environment.
So the fuel, the oil, all devastating to the ecosystem, obviously, to get them out there, and you guys have so many different hats you have to wear right now, right? Mm-hmm. The other thing you talked about, which was fascinating, as the bottom moves, when you map it, all the buoys, so people who are actually boating, which was fascinating to me, you may have known the waterway since you were a kid, but now with the changes, even the buoys that are missing and things have changed in terms of the canals, it's all different.
It is. It is. Your waterways may not be the same. The buoys may not be there. We have marker buoys that
How many are gone? You mentioned.
We don't really know quite yet. We're still out surveying.
But it's hundreds or thousands of marker buoys?
We have over 500 mooring buoys out in the sanctuary, which is what we ask people to tie up to rather than throwing out an anchor.
The divers call them, where's the ball? We look for that white ball that we throw the hook instead of putting an anchor down because it rips up the coral reef. the beauty of having a floating ball. It's there all the time, and we don't have to actually harm the coral by throwing an anchor down. We just clip onto something that's always there. So that particular, there's over 500?
We have 500 of those in the sanctuary. We haven't been able to survey all of the sanctuary yet. It's windy, just like it is today. That keeps us off the water as well. We know in the Upper Keys we're missing 60 of those. So we're asking people
just
to be gone, floating somewhere else, maybe a souvenir in someone's backyard. We hope not. We hope they turn them back in. But we ask people to think before they throw out that anchor, because it may be a protected area, and we're just not able to tell you that yet. Although, you can always go to our website, floridakeys.noaa.gov, and it has the full map and will tell you what part of the sanctuary is protected in which way.
And that's always being updated, so that website, if someone wanted to know more about the organization and what you guys are doing, or for that information, they go there.
floridakeys.noaa.gov.
Great. So please visit the website and support them. And Gena has been a rock star, helping us literally every time we pick up the phone. She's always here with us in Elmira. In Elmira, where can people go to support Keys Strong?
Go to www.keysstrong.org.
And the Keys have never been stronger, and it's a good example, girl power here. So you have the amazing Rotary and the Keys Sanctuary combined with Elmira all doing the work. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us.
Thank
Go
you,
Coconut Grove Seafood Festival and iconic Marine Stadium. We'll be with you all weekend live on Facebook. Rock and roll. Thank you, guys.